Over the last 6 years, I've sold over $35 million selling on Amazon, and I'm still actively running my stores to this day. Over the next few minutes, I'm gonna go over everything I learned, the things that cost me a ton of money, and all the things I did to get here. I'm gonna go over the lessons that made the biggest difference and the things that I wish I knew since day one. Now, some of these might surprise you, but these are the exact reasons why most new sellers don't make it past year one. So let's get into it. All right, so let's start off with number one. You see my very beautifully drawn heart with a line through it. So you might think, okay, good, to win in this game, I don't have to fall in love. That's not what I'm saying, right? What this means is don't fall in love with a product, okay? You might say I fall in love with humans, but don't fall in love with your products, right? Why is this so important? Because no matter what you're doing on Amazon, whether you're doing affiliate marketing, whether you're launching your own brand, whether you're doing retail arbitrage, flipping products from stores, or you're doing what we do, which is wholesale, you have to find a product to sell. It's a non-negotiable. We're in e-commerce. But here's what people tend to do, and here's what I did when I first got started. You see, my first few orders, I had made multiple 5 figures in profit, and trust me, I thought it was life-changing. But what happened is I unlocked a certain product that really changed the game for me. It was a door collar, and I was buying it from my distributor over in Brooklyn. I was reselling this product, and it was selling so fast. I would put my eyes on it, right? As soon as I saw those products from my distributor, I would immediately list them up, right? And not even send them into Amazon. I'll immediately list them up to sell and ship out myself, doing something called FBA, fulfilled by merchant. This thing was selling so quick that I would throw it in the back of my red Honda Accord Coupe. I would drive about an hour to the warehouse, and boom. Sometimes during that drive, we would make anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 in sales in an hour. It was blowing my mind, right? On average, this product was bringing me in about $20,000 in profit every single month. It was about double what I was making from my job with the New York City Department of Education. Trust me, all I wanted to do is put in my 2 weeks notice. Now, if I would have made the mistake that some people make, which is fully relying on that product, I would be broke right now. Now you'd be like, why? It was bringing in $20K per month in profit. Well, guess what? I didn't do some of the things that I'm going to speak about a little later, but what happened is I was selling for a little over a year. That was over $200,000 in profit, about $240,000 in profit we made off that product. And what happened is we lost access to it. So here's the thing. When you get in this game, understand that what keeps the business moving is this consistent stream of new products and new opportunities coming in. There are some things I'm gonna talk about later that kind of counteracts that, which allows you to have longevity to all your products, but we'll talk about that soon. When you first jump in, you're not gonna have these things. So focus on this consistent stream of new income coming in and new products. Just because you have a winning product does not mean you stop sourcing new opportunities. We are always looking for new products because guess what that does to our profit and revenue each month? It goes up. We get to give ourselves a raise each month, and we secure ourselves in case anything ever happens to any of these products. They go out of stock, manufacturer stops making them, manufacturer change who they're working with. All of these things can happen. So we never, ever, ever fall in love with a product. We take the money, but we keep moving forward, okay? So we got that one checked off, right? We're good to go. Got it? All right, cool. Number 2, now you see 9 to 5, and you be like, hey, I am jumping into business. I'm trying to get out of my 9 to 5 or make this my 9 to 5. This is where I see a lot of people kind of screw this up. They don't treat their business like a 9 to 5. Now, you might be like, whoa, I'm getting into business. I don't want to have another 9 to 5. But here's the thing. Think about this. When you go to work, right, you come in, let's just say it's 9 to 5. You come in at 9, you have a set of tasks that you need to get done before 5 p.m. And you do it day after day, Monday to Friday, unless you're working overtime, week after week after week. Now, business has to be the same when you first start. You need a schedule, you need consistency. And if you don't have these things, what I continuously see people do is they treat it like a side hustle, but they expect full-time money. It doesn't work like that, right? When you come to business, and I didn't do this when I first started, so trust me, this is 6 years later, I kind of know this now. When you come to business, let's say you're working a 9 to 5, you want to set yourself up in a way where maybe from 6 to 8 every day or 6 to 9, this is your business development time. Now, do you have to do this forever? No, right? We're going to talk about some ways where you can get away from this. But when you first start, you're by yourself. You have to learn the systems. You have to build a business. You have to do the actual task. It's going to take this repetitive dedication from you. What I see with a lot of people I work with is I always tell them, commit at least 8 to 10 hours per week when you first start, non-negotiable. Doesn't matter what's happening in life. I don't care if you got sick. I don't care. If you want to grow, commit. Stay on the same schedule just like you would do at your 9 to 5 job. This is the biggest thing that I see new sellers screw up with. They come in 1 week, they're hot, then they're cold, and then guess what? Their money's hot, and then it's cold right after. But consistency breeds growth, right? Please, please, please remember this. Treat it like a 9 to 5 when you first get in. Now, what is 3? When you're reaching out to brands and suppliers, right? What a lot of us do, myself included when I first started, right? I've screwed up on all of this stuff, to say it the easiest way. When they go to brands and suppliers, they don't lead with value. You come in and you're just asking. You're asking for deals. You're asking for discounts. You're asking for them to love you, treat you like you're their long lost son that they haven't seen in 5 years. Well, guess what? They don't know you. They don't trust you. They don't like you. So anytime you're going to a brand or distributor, you want to lead with value. Now, there's a difference. When you're going to distributors, what is value to a distributor? Money, right? Once you put money in their pocket, they will treat you so much differently than when you're just sending emails and calling them. What about when you go into a brand? Well, that's different. Brands want real value. You need to be able to assess what a brand's main bottleneck is on Amazon, off Amazon, and be able to pitch them a way to fix that, right? This is something that I go in depth in in our own business, with our own team, and some of the people we teach. But we go in depth with this because this is what separates someone who gets a deal done and someone that doesn't. Like our team in the past 2 months, we have a new AI tool that we released to some of our one-on-one mentorship students. That tool alone has opened up 38 accounts in a month, and our head of brand outreach has opened up over 54 accounts in the past 2 months, right? I don't know, I can't count that well, but I think it's about 92 accounts. It's a tremendous amount. That's a lot of accounts coming off. But how are we able to do this while some people struggle to get 1, 2 accounts open? Because we focus on this. We lead with value. We understand what the brand is going through better than the person we're talking to on the other side of that. If you lead with value and show them that you're someone they want to work with, you build that connection, deals become easy. When you come in just asking for the world, hey, can I get 10% off, 20% off? Do you think they want to work with you? You're annoying. Like, I don't even want to work with you, right? So you always want to lead with value. This is a game changer. And this is something that I didn't know when I first got started. All right, let's move on to number 4. This kind of goes and kind of segues from number 3, number 4. But this is called play the long game. Now, you might be like, what's that? I see so many people I talk to. They come into this market. They want to make money. They're like, I can't wait to start selling products. How long does it take me to get to 10K a month? I'm like, great. Probably gonna take you about 3 to 6 months, right? Unless you have a lot of capital, you can close deals quicker because you have probably like some sales experience. But play the long game, right? Don't think just 3, 6 months out. Think a year out. Think 2 years out, and build your systems around that. When I first got in, I was so like hungry for money. I just wanted to leave my job so bad that I was just running, chasing deals, and I wasn't really building depth with the brands and distributors I was working with. I was really just focused on the quick cash flow. Right? When you play the long game, when you understand that the real money to be made in this business is when you have a small handful of distributors and suppliers that you love working with, right? You've reached out to a big bucket of them, but these are the ones that have the best business, best deals. You're able to go in there and start creating in-depth relationships with them, which allows them to do what? Want to work with you more, give you better deals, give you hookups, all of these things. Now, this is so in-depth that sometimes playing the long game for us has been, right? It doesn't happen often, but sometimes we have distributors and brands that say, hey, I'll call them and say, do you have any problems with any of your product currently? Like, yeah, I'm a little slow on moving this one. I'm like, okay, how can I help you out? Well, if you took off a little more inventory or did this would really help us out. I got you, right? I might not be making as much money that I want on that order, but I know that because I'm building this trust with them, this relationship, what's gonna happen on order 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? They're gonna like me. They're gonna give me better deals. When you play the long game, you come in, and the quickest thing that a lot of people wanna do is get money in the market, and I support that, right? But don't look to hit the home runs. Take some base hits, right? When we first started, we would take profit margins, right? As low as 7, 8%. Do I recommend that? No, right? Do a little higher. But we take profit margins, net profit margins, as low as 7, 8%, ROI as low as 12 or 13%. Now, some people might say, well, that's not a lot of money. But I always look at it like this. If my money was in Chase Bank account or Bank of America in my savings account, I'm making less than 1% each year. That ROI of 7 or 8%, that profit margin 7, 8%, ROI of 12, 13%, I'm getting that every 4 to 6 weeks. It's still quick cash coming in. And maybe it's not as much as we currently do at a close to a 20% profit margin, 30 to 40% ROI, but it's quick cash coming in. It's better than what I'm currently doing. Don't fall in love with a certain number you have in mind. Get cash in the market, play the long game, build relationships. This is how you grow the business. And always have an abundance of people that you've reached out to so you can pick the ones that you do the best business with. Only thing I'm gonna add into number 4 before we move on is we want to go for something called exclusivity with these brands. What does that mean? Well, let's think about it. If a brand is doing, let's say a brand is doing $1 million a month, per month, right? Okay, so maybe you come in and there's 10, well, there's probably more, 15 sellers on that brand, right? Let's go with 20 sellers, right? 20 sellers on that brand. You are one of those 20 sellers. So you're gonna be doing about 50K per month in sales. Okay, great. Now 50K is great, we all love it, but guess what? This brand does $1 million a month. So my angle, every time we angle, is how do I become one of one, or one of three, or one of five? And it goes back to this. Leading with value, pitching value is gonna make them like you more than everyone else, and you get to take up a bigger piece of that pie without taking on the responsibility of being a brand owner. This is why it only takes a handful of brands to actually build a 6 or 7-figure business, or for us, even 8-figure business, because we're always looking to do a lot of outreach based on the systems we built, which are pretty automated, a lot of outreach and finding those winners from them so we could play the long term and at the end of the day, lock in exclusive deals. Okay, number 5. Oh my God, I can't explain. This is when I almost quit Amazon. I almost quit Amazon right here. Now, first few orders, I was making money. I was so excited. This is the easiest thing in the world. And then I started making a lot of mistakes. I put it the nicest way. I remember one order. It was a cheese dip. And I had no idea how to read charts, right? There's price charts. I had no idea how to read them. And I bought a product that was pretty new to Amazon, didn't know how to read data. And I ended up losing about 5K on that order. I was like, ooh, that one hurt. It wiped off a lot of the profits I just made. Right after that, I went and got a disinfectant wipe. This was around the time of COVID, so you know wipes were flying off the shelf. Now that product was selling at $33.25. I was getting them for about, I think, $15, right? I had about a 22% profit margin, almost 38% ROI, I believe, right? It was flying. I was so excited. I couldn't believe it, right? I was buying pallets and pallets of this thing. Now, here's what happened, and I got really sad, I'm not gonna lie, is this product was brand new to Amazon. It had only been on Amazon for about 3 or 4 months. And what happened is it hadn't found a stable price yet. So what happened is as things kind of progressed, the price started to tank and tank and tank and tank and tank to the point for each sale I was making, I was losing $5 to $6. It hurt, and I lost almost 15K on this order. I really almost gave up on Amazon. I was like, this is not for me. I made too many mistakes. But here's the thing, right? Please take this lesson. When you are selling products, we are not looking for seasonal products, right? You can take a quick flip, but that's not a business. We are looking for things that have stable, consistent sales all year round, and ones that have been on Amazon for months and years. Our personal thing is we're not selling anything that hasn't been on Amazon for at least a year, right? Because we want to make sure that, hey, has it going through the test of time? And people continue to buy this in rain, snow, sleet, shine, whatever it may be. I love products that have been selling for over a year. Love products that have price consistency, because what that breeds is a lot of confidence that people will continue to buy it. And that's what has changed the game. So when you go in, don't look for the home run, what sells through on Halloween, or what sells in Christmas, or what sells when the Easter bunny is jumping out. No, consistency and price history. How long has it been selling, and has the price been consistent? Complete game changer. Now, number 6 and 7 I think are arguably the most important things that we're going to talk about today. Number 6, when it comes time to hire, right? When it comes time to hire, you need to consider value over price. Now, you might be like, what in the world are you talking about? Here's what and me and my business partner, we argue about this a good amount. What I used to do is when I built the team, we outsourced a lot of our work to third world countries like Philippines, other third world countries, but VAs, virtual assistants. Now, here's what I used to look at. If I can get somebody for $1.60 an hour or $2 an hour, then and they do all this work, I'm gonna make a shit ton of money. Yes, you will. But here's the thing, as you grow, the people you have on your team, the A players that you have will make you more money than having a bunch of C and D players, and will give you a lot more peace of mind. Here's the thing, right? I have virtual teams right now that I pay a lot more than that, right? $6, some $10, etc. an hour, right? Damn near close to what you pay for in the US. But it's still cheaper, so I'm still making more money, putting more in the pocket. But here's the thing, I'm getting A players, right? And what do A players do for your business? They make you more money. So if I'm paying someone $10 an hour, $12 an hour, you best believe they're gonna be making me $30 an hour, right? So yes, it's coming out of my pocket technically, but it's coming out of the value they provide to the business. When you start off, especially if you're on a smaller budget, yeah, you're gonna be obviously looking at something that fits into your budget. You can, hire based on price. But as you grow, don't be super greedy. Understand growth and understand that A players, people who actually know how to troubleshoot their problems, people that actually know how to problem solve things live, people that actually know how to bring value to your team, they will take your business to another level. I know I spoke about it here, where I talked about kind of someone on our team, a virtual assistant, who's opened up over 50, well, I think it's 54. That number keeps changing every day. But 54 different accounts last I checked. 54 different brand accounts. Well, guess what brands have? Multiple products. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of new spend into the business, right? What does that do? That puts a lot more money in my pocket. I can incentivize her better for the work that she does, but I didn't hire her based on price. I hired her based on experience and value. As you grow, always focus on hiring A players. Now, number 7. God damn. This is the one where if I could can I blow this up? I'm just blow it up. It's that important, right? Number 7 should live on an island by itself, right? P over PM. What does that mean? This is profit over profit margin. What does this mean? Now, I can't tell you, in all of my businesses, I hear this all the time, right? Okay, this is not making me enough money, per sale, so I'm gonna cut it off. I'm I don't care how much it's making you per sale. How much money is it putting in your bank account profit-wise at the end of each month? So I had a student and their main thing was hey, this is only giving me I think it was a 13% profit margin, which was under what they were usually doing. They were close to actually 23% profit margin. So I'm listen, I'm not gonna name them, but I'm listen, you know why you're not growing? He's why? Or why it's taking you a while? I'm because you fell in love with this number where your profit margin is so high, but you're missing all this opportunity here because you're getting greedy. If you go and get these lower profit margin products that have higher profit, right, monthly profit, your business will grow a lot quicker. Now, why is that? Well, something could be bringing you a 30% ROI. Now, something is at 18% ROI. Right, per sale. Okay, great. What looks better to us? Well, this looks better than that. But guess what? If I can sell 1,000 units here, and I can only sell 50 units here, what looks better now? What looks better? Well, this looks way better because I'm selling so much more volume, 20 times the volume. So this profit margin, this ROI becomes freaking irrelevant because when you multiply them together, my overall profit coming into my bank account is way higher. So I'm gonna focus more on this than some small transactions that just give me this ego boost because my business is this much more higher in profit margin. This is what matters. What is the profit coming into your business? I would 100% take a smaller chunk of a bigger pie than a large chunk of a minuscule pie. So hyper focus on profit. How much money will I make per month if I onboard this product into my store? So that's 6 years and $35 million in sales on Amazon, all wrapped up into a few minutes. But if you want the shortcut to running a fully profitable and scalable Amazon business, I got 2 options for you. We run free workshops that go on for a few hours that me and my entire team that's built this business to over 35 million in sales go in depth, going over every single thing that we've done to scale the business and teaching it to you. If you want to do that, hit the link below and sign up for our next one. Or if you're one of those people that want to move faster and get your hand held to building a sustainable, scalable Amazon business, you can hit the link below to schedule a call with our team and we'll see if you're a good fit. Either way, I hope you found this helpful. Make sure you subscribe because we drop this value every single week, going over every lesson that we've learned over the past 6 years and everything that we're doing to move this business forward. This is exactly what I wish I had starting out. I hope it helped. See you next time.